Hello, I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about a new programme we have. I'm really excited to introduce our new programme that's launching from September 2021. It's, as you can see there, a BSc in International Logistics and Supply Chain Management. And we're really excited to introduce this new programme to you. But before we introduce the programme, let me introduce who's with us today. I'm joined by Dr. Gary Ramsden and Dr. Samuel Afranie, both lecturers on the programme, who are going to tell us a lot more about the content and its structure, and indeed why it's important. I'm going to ask them that later because I need convincing why this is so important. But I know this is an exciting thing to add to the Department of Management's portfolio. So if I tell you a little bit about the department, my name's Joanna and I'm the head of department. And you may have seen me on previous recordings where I've talked about the portfolio of undergraduate programs that we offer here in the department. And we are really pleased to add this to our suite of subjects that you can study with us. So if I can hand over to Gary. Are you there, Gary? Can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks very much.
That's lovely. If you can tell us a little bit more about the programme, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be telling you about this programme today. My background is 25 years in professional logistics management, followed by 14 years in academia. So that's my background and why I was involved in generating this programme for the university. Why logistics and why Lincoln? Well, the University of Lincoln sits in the middle of Lincolnshire, which is what we regard as a logistics hub. You may be interested to hear that Lincolnshire grows around 20% of the UK's overall food supply, and of course that has to be delivered. So logistics seems to be the logical thing to study in Lincoln. We regard logistics and supply chain management as a growth area, both in industry, but also in academia. You only have to look at the challenges presented by the ongoing pandemic to realise that. And I'm sure you've all seen the influence of logistics on news bulletins, etc., in getting PPE to people initially and now getting the vaccinations on track. We've developed the programme around a very strong research-based community. What does that mean? It means we've got lots of people who think and talk and write about logistics and supply chain management. And I include in those two colleagues who are professors in logistics disciplines and have a really broad cross-section of related academic ideas that we discuss. And we're building on our reputation as well, being in Lincolnshire again, lots of Royal Air Force input there. And we do an awful lot of work with the military, particularly in the area of logistics. So we are considered to be the university of choice for the military logistics community. And those of you who know anything about logistics will know that organisations rely a lot on the military for leadership and thought development in logistics. So there's the background to the programme. But what's it look and feel like? Well, this is the overall structure. We've got 3 years with an optional 4th year. The first year, you can see there, we do 8 what we call core modules, and my colleague Samuel will explain those in a minute. The same in year 2, and again, Samuel will give you a little bit more detail on those. And then you have an option. You can go for a placement year out in industry, using a lot of our links to logistics business. Across the UK, we can offer you a placement supported, which will be of great benefit when you come to put your CVs together on graduation. Or you could even go and study overseas in one of our international institutions that we work very closely with. And then finally, in the 3rd year, you'll do a mix of core modules and a dissertation and optional modules, and more of that in a little minute. So I'm going to hand over to Samuel now to talk you through the 1st and 2nd years. Samuel, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you. It's such an opportunity to also talk on this. As we all know, we say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a foot step. So what is going to happen here is in the 1st year, that will be the beginning of the module. What happens here is the 1st year, students will be studying core modules. Out of the core modules, we have 2 interesting introductory programs, which introductory modules, which students will be studying. that will introduce them to the logistics and also sustainability itself. Within the first year, what happens is students will learn some core generic management models where they will start building their knowledge on not only on logistics, but how to manage logistics itself. Then they will progress onto the second year. On progressing to the second year, what happens is they will continue developing and also getting more knowledge on the generic management skills. Here, what is going to happen again is we've also introduced another 50% of the logistics and supply chain management courses. This will broaden the horizons on the logistics and supply chain field. They will get more, they'll start developing more in-depth knowledge on the logistics and supply chain to make them a better student, a better person in future, for them to also progress more onto the third year. So I'll let Gary continue with the third year, tell them more what they're going to do on the third year and why it is so important to them.
Thank you, Samuel. So in the first 2 years, really, we're building up a solid grounding, a solid grounding not only in logistics and supply chain, but as Samuel's already said, also in management. When you graduate from our organization, you're going to go into management roles. You'll be managing logistics, discipline, distribution, etc. So you've got to be a good manager as well as a good logistician. In the third year, we really do develop you such that you're ready for the world of work. That's our main aim. And as you can see there, there's core content. So you're doing leadership and high performance. You're doing philosophy of management. So again, generic, really important management skills, and also getting a global appreciation, not only of supply chain strategies, but also the influence of sustainability, a massive thing. So how do we preserve the planet while we distribute things around it and grow things on it? And also the options have been designed around different career pathways. So I'd get you to look at the right-hand side of this slide here. It could be that you want to go into the food industry. It could be that you want to go into distribution, renewable energy. These just illustrate the broad reach of logisticians out there. You may wish to go into the humanitarian sector. You might want to be involved in an entrepreneurial position. So you might want to think about developing logistics going forward. But the idea of those optional modules is you choose ones that suit your career aspirations. So if you want to go and do distribution for Tesco, you'll probably do food supply chain and international distribution and so on. So we have built this degree with employability in mind in the logistics and supply chain profession itself. So hopefully that gives you a feel for the career pathways that are out there for you as a professional logistician. Moving on a little bit about teaching and learning, and a busy slide, but the thing I want to really point out is that we in LIBS, in all of our programs, under and postgraduate, concentrate on what called the principles of responsible management education. And this is a UN development where we don't just consider ourselves as learning to be managers and leaders, but we consider ourselves to be good members of society. So we base our activities around, as I said, the sustainability agenda, responsibility, ethical approaches, and responsible management in general, really. So we don't only become managers and leaders and logisticians, but we become responsible members of society as we go out there to take on our management challenges for the future. And a final, and I think really important aspect of this degree is we've developed it in line with the requirements of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. For those of you who haven't heard of this organisation before, they are the recognised key professional body within logistics and supply chain management. And you can see there a statement on the requirements, if you like, and this is something that CILT gave us as part of the accreditation process. And what they've done is they've agreed that as a graduate of the University of Lincoln on this programme, you will meet the educational requirements to sit yourself within this area of their professional structure. So what you do is you go out with your degree, you've got the academic requirements for the Chartered Institute, you get some employment experience, business experience, and then you go back to them and they will make you a chartered member of their association. Really important for professional development, but also for future career aspiration, chartered logisticians effectively warrant a great deal more salary than non-chartered logisticians. So that's why it's really important that we do this thing as part of your studies.
So if I could just interrupt at that point, this is fantastic. And I can see the next slide is titled "Why Study International Logistics and Supply Chain Management." So I think, Samuel, I'm going to come to you to answer some of that. And Gary, feel free to chip in. But I think some people listening to this, when they're just trying to make up their mind about, maybe they're interested in some sort of business and management degree, but don't know which one. And we offer lots. We offer general, what I call the general degrees in business and management, business studies, but we also offer more specialist degrees in business psychology, enterprise development. I've missed one out. You know, when you've got these more specialist areas, international business management, actually, I don't think that is particularly specialist, but has a particular international flavour and leaning to it. When you're faced with all this different choice, why logistics and supply chain? What gives that something different? And also, if I start that as an 18-year-old, straight after year 13 at school or college, and I'm interested in this, it sounds great. If 3 or even 4 years later, I'm not sure whether a purely logistics career is for me, will this degree still offer me options beyond logistics if I maybe change my mind? Is there some flexibility there? So could you convince me as a potential applicant why this is something I should really consider, and what that gives it in terms of a differential compared to the other things that we might offer?
Thank you very much, Joanna. Such an interesting question. Very, very important indeed. Thank you. What I would like to say is logistics itself is a crucial factor in successful business models. So think about every business that we do, it's all about logistics. Planning is logistics. Managing is logistics. How to even deliver stuff from one point to the other point is logistics. So here, what happens is students are being developed in a way not to just be a narrow thinker in the logistics field, but rather in a broader perspective. How to manage their own logistics, how to also increase their own productivity within any chosen firm, how to optimize productivity. With this, coming to take this program, it gives you that bigger perspective about the entire business. Hence why my colleague said before, from the first year, we have some generic core models which will introduce you into how to manage managerial core models, which start to broaden your horizons, and then logistics slowly chips in. And then, so by the time you finish the program, you would have the set knowledge or the developmental skills for you to be ready for the entire organization, the entire industry. This is what logistics is going to do. This is what we're going to impart in you as a student or whoever is interested. Another thing is, it's not going to be only that field. Remember, in your third year, you've got the options. So many options: humanitarian, procurement. Then you have the choice to branch wherever you want to go because you've already built your skills. So you're more than happy to go to any field with that kind of skills to make you a successful person you want to be.
That sounds great. Gary, anything to add?
Yeah, I think I agree with every word Samuel's saying, but my ultimate spin on logistics is it's fun. It's a very hands-on, practical topic, although you need to be a savvy manager and leader to manage it. And that's what first attracted me to it. If you want to be out there with in and amongst it, managing on the hoof, that sort of thing, that's what logistics is about. A lot of this program is about the practical management skills you need to manage distribution, to manage warehousing, to make sure that things get where they need to be on time and still in one piece. It's the excitement and the fun of the project, the topic, I think, that we as logisticians talk about a lot, don't we, Samuel? Really? Yeah, we buzz about it.
Thank you.
So that in a nutshell is what it
We
is
do a
for me.
lot. We do a lot. And another thing I would like to add is it's not just about what we know logistics to be years ago, about just sitting in the truck and driving. No.
No.
The planning, the managing, it all comes together to make you a better logistician. So it's a good fun. Indeed, it's a good fun. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Is there anything you want to say? I was going to say, is there anything you want to say in conclusion? But we've reached our last slide. I think that sums up nicely and in some detail what our programme is. I think the green credentials that you mentioned earlier as well, that responsibility we have to teach logistics in a way that considers the planet, considers those aspects of logistics, which I think is a challenging part for the industry, isn't it, and for the sector, but something we're very acutely aware of. And of course, we're undertaking quite a lot of research in that area as well. So I think that's a really important thing to sum up. So I do hope that's been helpful to you in terms of helping to inform your choice of the programmes you might study with us. And we look forward to seeing you, hopefully physically soon, and welcome you to the University of Lincoln. Please do check in with us however you might be able to, and come and visit with us when you can. It's a fabulous city, great university, and we'd love to say hello to you and welcome you. Thank you very much.